Brilliant. Okay, so thanks very much everyone for joining the inaugural movement class. I really appreciate you being here and spending the time with me, and so I can teach you some Pilates moves and some moves to help unwind your body before the why. But yeah, thanks very much for coming. And what we're going to do is we're going to do some quite simple but gentle but deep exercises today, introducing you to not only just Pilates but also the way that I teach. We're going to be here for about an hour. I have muted you. If I will talk you through a lot of things, but I also will demonstrate some things. So if you don't understand what I'm saying, then do have a look. I will be looking at you as well to see how you're doing, and so I can offer some suggestions for corrections. But I won't. My point is not really to call anyone out or anything like that. It's more about, because there's usually quite a few things that people do that everyone else can think about too. So without further ado, if you'd like to come up to standing, okay, just stand wherever you want on your mat. Bring your feet hip width distance apart. So when I say hip width distance apart, I want you to look down at your feet, and are your feet beneath your knees? So if you see where my hands are, this is around where your hip bone, your thigh bones go into your feet. So actually you're probably going to be a little bit closer together than you might think, rather than out here or out here. Okay, so you have a stand up, and I just want you to start to feel the soles of your feet wherever you are at the moment. And then I'd invite you to close your eyes. Okay, and then just feel the soles of the feet, and imagine that the soles of the feet are rooting deeper and deeper into the ground. Now you may notice that you're moving a little bit, and that's absolutely fine and normal, because we actually shouldn't be standing stock still as human beings, because we have a natural movement within the body. Okay, so now I want you to take in a breath and notice where that breath is landing. Is it landing in your chest? Is it landing in your stomach? Is it landing in your rib cage? Hi, Alex.
Hi, sorry I'm late.
That's fine. Just come in and set yourself. We're just doing a standing. If you could put yourself on mute, that would be amazing. Okay, we're just starting how we did on Monday. So just really close your eyes, and now what I want you to do is I want you to breathe into your rib cage. Allow the rib cage to come out at the sides, and then coming in. And then I want you to also, whilst you're doing that, just allow your body to start to circle around your feet. So you'll feel the sides of your feet come onto the hips. So it comes the heels, and then on the side again of the other side, and then come around to the toes. So stop. All your feet are still completely grounded on the floor, but you're just rolling slowly around the feet. So keep your eyes closed and allow the focus to go internally. And then as you're breathing, send the breath down towards your abdominal area, and then let it go down to your pelvis area, so your hips. And now what I want you to do is I want you to just go on the other side around. So rotate the other way. Alex, your video isn't on if you wanted it to be on. Okay, and then roll around a little bit more. And then just feel a bit curious about where you are. Are your toes starting to rise up a little bit? If they are, then just soften them down onto the mat. Okay, and then come to the middle. Aha, there you are, I see you. Okay, and now what I want you to do is to stick your feet in the footprints, and then just start to shake your feet, your backs of your bounce, sorry, I mean the back of the knees. So just allow the legs to start to bounce up and down, but keeping your feet completely grounded on the floor, so in a footprint, okay? And then you'll start to feel that this movement will come up your legs, into your hips, up your spine, and your arms will start to just move a little bit. This is just to really just give yourself a little bit of a zing. If we've been sitting down at our desks all day, and then just let your arms move around if you want, shake your hands. You just want to let the energy start to open. That's it, really good, excellent. And just imagine your knees and your legs just really free. That's it, lovely. And then come to a slow stop. Okay, and just have a sense of if there's any difference in your body. Maybe you feel that there's a little bit of a zing, a little bit of an energy. And just notice that, and then come down to your mat or rug or wherever you are. And I want you to, excuse me, and lie down lengthways onto the mat. And either place your head on a pillow if that feels more comfortable, or you can be flat on the mat as you would like. Okay, so now I want your knees to be bent and your feet to be grounded on the floor. And again, just as we were in standing, allow the feet to just slowly drip into the floor. Okay, I want to take your hands and place them on your pelvis. So you have some bony parts of the pelvis, and I just invite you to place your hands there. That just gives your pelvis a feeling of connection. Now what I'd like you to do is imagine that you've got a clock, like the face of Big Ben on your pelvis. So, and where it is lying, I want 12 to be by the belly button and 6 to be down to the pubic bone. What we're going to do, we're going to use this clock face to start help moving the pelvis. If you've got lower back pain, which I know that a lot of us have from time to time, this is a really lovely way of helping to open up all of that tight musculature around the lower back. Because a lot of lower back pain actually is related to the stagnation of movement in the pelvis. Okay, so placing your hands on the knobbly bits, that's a technical term, and I want you to start to roll your pelvis down towards your pubic bone, so towards the 6. So you'll notice that your lumbar spine may start to rise a little bit. And then again, I want you to roll on the back towards the 12 o'clock. And then again, rolling to the front, just gently. And just start really feel the back of the pelvis as it moves. You may notice that your rib cage is starting to really rise up. If that's the case, just breathe into your rib cage. Maybe place a hand on your rib cage and just let it soften. That's really what we want to do. The spine is going to be moving, but not huge amounts. Okay, so go to 6 and 12. And still keep your feet where they were in those footprints, so they're really stable. And you may notice that there's a little feeling of movement in your legs. Brilliant, lovely. Now come to the neutral position again. One thing I don't want you to do is force the lower spine down when you're lying down. Original Pilates did ask us to have a flat spine down. The way that the school of Pilates that I teach is that it's more about the natural undulations of the spine. Okay, so now we want to get to 3 and 9. So that's where the two knobbly bits are. So, and I want you to roll your side of your pelvis down to 3, and then I want you to roll on the base of the pelvis down to 9. Okay, you may feel that there's a little chink in your hip, in your waist as you do that. If that's the case, then what you're doing is you're hoiking your pelvis up rather than sliding it down. So you want to imagine that you're on a boat and you're going from side to side on the boat. You will notice that your thigh bones do actually move forward. Okay, so keep your thigh bones hip width distance apart. If you drop your right hip bone down, your left hip bone will rise, and your left thigh bone will go towards the wall in front of you. Okay, I hope that makes sense. It can be a little bit tricky to start off with. Even though this is one of the beginning moves in Pilates, it's actually a really, really challenging one. And this is actually the movement of walking. Okay, so your 2 pelvic halves start moving and your legs start moving in front of each other. Okay, so calm down to neutral. Now what I want you to do is I want you to come to 12 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then 6 o'clock, then 9 o'clock, and then 12 o'clock. So really slowly finding those edges, rolling around the base of the pelvis, so you're calming around. So it's basically sort of a hip circle. But what I want you to do is find any kind of sticky points that you might have and just notice where they are. Don't have to worry about it. No, it's just a notice. And then calming the opposite way. So it's 12, 9, 6, 3. You may find that one side is just a little bit more stiff than the others. You're right, Anton. Yeah, just keeping. Yeah, that's it. Keep your, Anton, move your legs, move your feet a little bit closer to each other so they're hip width distance apart. Yeah. Right. Really good. Okay. Now what I'd like you to do is come to a neutral place. We're going to do some bridging. But have a listen to the cues that I'm making, because it's ever so slightly different to how you may or may not have done them previously. So if you want to lengthen your arms down towards your feet, and then your feet are in those footprints again. So look at your thigh bones and see your thigh bones are coming out in front of you, out of the pelvis. I want them to be out externally rotated. I want them to come out. So they're quite narrow. You'll probably be able to just about fit a fist in between your legs, maybe a couple of fingers, not too wide a gap here. So press your feet down, and then you'll find that your pelvis starts to magically lift. Okay? Then your thigh bones, just send your thigh bones away from your pelvis towards the wall or window in front of you, and then your spine will start to come up off the mat. Okay? Now here, just remember where your feet are, and remember the exercise that we did at the beginning of the class, where we want to make sure that, you know, we've got weight across the whole of the feet. You might find that you're sort of on one of the edges. If you are, just right your feet back so you feel like there's the weight across the whole of the foot. And then what I want you to do is I want you to breathe in here, widen the rib cage, and then soften the rib cage down from the breastbone. So the spine comes down ever so slightly, and then the pelvis is the last to come down. And then again, pressing down into the feet, the pelvis starts to magically rise. Thigh bones lengthen up in front of you, so your feet are still in exactly the same position. Okay? And then you're opening. Imagine that your thigh bones are moving away from your pelvis. Your pelvis is becoming flat. The pelvis before was creased. Now we're nice and flat here. Okay. Also think about where your rib cage is. I want you to really soften, breathe into your breastbone and just soften the rib cage just a little bit, keeping the pelvis high. And then now I want you to breathe out and press your rib cage down first, articulating your spine down. And again, pressing into the feet, lengthening away, lengthening away. Imagine that your vertebra is now moving with your thigh bones, just really lengthening. So you've got loads and loads of space in front of your vertebra, in your vertebra. And then breathing out as you come back down. Imagine creating space in between each of the vertebra bones as you come down. And now this one, we're going to stay up. So pressing down, lengthen the thigh bones, head, through. I've got a window in front of me, so I'm thinking about sending my thigh bones in front of into the window. Now, make sure your hands are slightly rooted on the floor with your arms coming down to the feet. And I want you to do is I want you to float one knee up into what we call a 90-90. It also gets called tabletop. Okay. And then float that leg down so the foot gets imprinted again. And then float the knee up, the other knee, the left knee or the right knee, whichever one you're doing. That's it. And then bring it back down. Maintaining that the height of the pelvis where it is. And then bring the knee up. Now what I want you to do with this knee is, with this leg you've got up, I want you to turn, externally rotate your leg ever so slightly so your knee moves outwards, okay? Then I want you to move your thigh bone inwards so your knee comes across you ever so slightly. And then again, outwards, externally rotating the leg and internally rotating the leg. Come to neutral and then come back down. And we'll do that again on the other side. Coming up, externally rotating the leg outwards and then internally rotating the leg. Externally rotating the leg outwards, internally rotating the leg. And come to neutral, come down and breathing down from the breastbone. Down as you come down. Well done. Okay, now I'd like to do this is a really nice one for people who've been sat down all day or been on bikes or just got quite a tight back. So bring your legs together in a nice, to really connect that inner seam of your legs. So if you're wearing leggings, just imagine that your legging seam has just come together. Place your arms out wide, not just a little bit lower down from your shoulders. And then I want you to just start to rock from 3, so going back to the pelvic clock, remember that 3 and 9. Okay, keeping both of the soles of the feet on the floor. So you can note if you go a little bit further on one side, you'll notice that one of the soles of the feet want to come up. So keep the glue the inner seams of the feet together, and then start to just allow the thigh bones to move over. So you're in a rotation. Don't go all the way down as yet. And then coming back up. And then allow the feet to just connect in with the mat again. And then go on the other side. So as you start to rotate, as you start to go onto your other hip bone, slide the thigh bone so the knees are in exactly the same level. And coming over. Does someone need to say something? Was that my mic? I hope that's okay. Shout if not. And then come back. Okay, this one I want you to get, if it's available to you, I want you to go a little bit further over. And then if you'd like to, you can turn your head to the opposite side where your opposite side to your legs. and then coming back over, and go to the other side, and just allow your legs to come, bring over. Okay, so here, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to breathe into your sides of your rib cage. And as you come back down this time, I want you to come back down from the rib cage, so your rib cage leads the way. So you can place your hand on the side of the rib cage that's up towards the ceiling, and breathing out as you let that rib cage come down, and then the knees and the pelvis follow suit afterwards. So it's that they're the last things to come and rotate back. And then again, over to the other side. Turn your head, place your hand on the rib cage, breathe into the side of the rib cage, and then breathe out, soften the rib cage down, and around, and allow the knees to follow. Do that one more time on each side. I'm just going to have a look at you. That's it, yeah. Bring the soles of the feet together. Yeah, the seams of the feet, I mean, not the soles. And then coming back, that's it. And then one more time. You should be feeling a nice opening from the shoulder to the hip on the back. That's it, lovely. Okay, now come to neutral again. Bring your feet in a little bit closer. Okay. Now what I want you to do is I want you to bring both of the legs up to tabletop. Place your hands behind your thigh bones. And I want you to start to put your thigh bones into your hands and your hands into your thigh bones. Now, what you'll find is that if you press your thigh bones into your hands, your spine will want to move. You start to roll up, and then you come up to sitting. Lovely, I like it. Well done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do some roll downing. So remember that pelvic movement that we were doing? So I want you to start to roll on the pelvis, and then your feet are going to start to slide, and then I want you to come back down with, smoothly, and then I want you to place your head, the backs of the thighs into the hands, and then allow yourself to come back up. So try to do this really slowly. It's really helpful when you're coming down. That's it. Yeah, lovely. So when you're coming back up, breathe in while you're lying on the ground. As you're pressing the thigh bones into your hands, you start to breathe out as you come up, because the breath actually facilitates the movement. That's it. And remember to move with the pelvis. So let's all come to sitting. That's it. Let's all finish sitting up. And what I want you to do is I want you to start the movement with the pelvis. So we'll just play around with this a little bit and just start to move the pelvis to initiate the movement, but not do anything else. And then rolling back up. I don't know if you can see my pelvis here, but rolling back. We don't want to lean, we want to avoid leaning like that, but moving the pelvis first starts to open this part of the lumbar spine. Awesome. Brilliant. Yeah. Fantastic. Nearly going into teaser there, Marvia. I like it. Okay. Now, let's try a full roll down. Okay. So this is what it looks like. So rolling back on the mat, lengthening the legs, opening the arms up, And then bringing the arms up as you come back. Okay, so rolling on the pelvis, imagine that you're creating space in between each of the vertebrae. Allow the legs to lengthen out, open out wide, and then bring the arms, graze the arms back on the ceiling, rolling up and calming in. Have you all done this before? You look great. Right. Lovely. Okay, and then let's all go back down, rolling down. Okay, so now what I want you to do is put your hands behind your head and your heads into your hands. So clasp your hands behind your head and place the thumbs down the side of the neck, so that protects. I also want you to have your elbows in your peripheral vision. Don't want them out like this, want them here. If they're out like this, then we're actually shortening the shoulder blades, they're retracting, and we're actually shortening the muscles in between. So it actually creates much more of a tightness here, which is one of the reasons why often we can get that tightness when we've been sat for quite a while, because as humans are working, our functional movement often is to actually retract these shoulder blades. So, calming down, placing your hands so you can see the elbows. What I want you to do now, keep the knees bent and the feet bent, sorry, the feet into the ground and the knees bent. I want you to start to allow the head to come up. So the elbows start moving in a semicircle towards the knee. Your gaze comes in between the thighs. Okay, so imagine that you're painting a semicircle with your elbows. Breathing out as you roll back down, creating space in the spine, and the arm bones move and the elbows go back in that circle. And then start to paint the circle with the elbows. Come towards the thigh bones, look between the elbows. Sorry, between the knees. And then breathing out as you soften down. And again, sending your elbows down towards the knees. So think about your lower rib cage, the lower rib, connecting with the abdominals here. Now we want to stay up here. Bring our arms up straight. Lengthen our arms down towards the side of the thigh bones, and then coming up to the ceiling, behind the head, and then breathing out as you come down. And again, elbows connect the lower rib into the abdominals, and then bring your arms up to the thighs, and then up behind the head, breathing out as you come back down. And again, elbows round towards the knee, arms up towards the thighs, to the ceiling and back, and calming down. Now we're going to build onto this and create a rotation. So again, head into hands and hands into head. So when you're bringing your head up, I want you to imagine that your neck is just lengthening up. So there's no real pressure on your head at all, apart from your hands are actually doing the supporting. Now what I want you to do is I want you to start to allow the left shoulder to come around. So you lift the right shoulder up onto a rotation of the rib cage, and then coming back down into the middle, and then again, left shoulder rises, right shoulder down, elbow towards the right side of the thigh, and then to the other side. So pelvis is staying down here, and right shoulder is up, and then left shoulder rotates around to the right side. Okay, coming to the middle, breathing out as you come down. Now I'd like you to bring your knees up. So you can either glue your legs together or you can have them apart. It depends what you prefer. Having them apart is going to be harder because it's a less base of support. Gluing them together, I find is much nicer to start off with. Okay, so again, coming up into the chest lift. And then I want you to rotate around to the left side of your thigh bone. And then roll into the neutral. And then roll to the left elbow meets the side of the right thigh bone. And calming. You don't have to touch the thigh bone, by the way. It's just that direction. And calming down to the middle. And then left to right side. Okay. Now what I want you to do this time, I want you to, when you come round to the left side, I want you to lengthen the right leg and bring it to the middle. Breathing out as you bring the left elbow to the right side. And coming in, remember those elbows. You want to be able to see the elbows at all times. And then onto the other side. And as you rotate as well, breathe out. This is really helpful because you're squeezing all of the lung air out, and then one more time, calming in, and then soften down when you're ready. Nice. Okay, and then calming back down. All right, so bring your legs up again, hands behind the thighs, roll up as you were doing in chest lift, and then come back up to sitting. Okay. Right, now what I'd like to do actually, just to get a little bit more rotation in the thoracic spine, come to kneeling if that's available to you. If it's not, you can sit cross-legged. But place your hands on your knees. And what I want you to do is I want you to look straight at yourself and or me, whatever, just straight ahead. This is actually something really good to do in the mirror. So place your hands on your thigh bones. And what I want you to do is I want you to start to move your left hand towards your knee and then bring your right hand back as though it was going into its pocket. Okay, so Felicity, move your head so you're looking at the screen. Looking further, yeah. And then sliding the other way and continue to look directly in front of you. That's it, nice. So often what happens is that we start going like this because we're not rotating up the spine. God, I just went into that there. There again, rotation around, lengthen that arm. Lengthen. And lengthen. Okay. Right. Where are we? Just need to see what time we are. Okay. Cool. So, what we can do now is put your hands, your legs out, just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. I might actually go this way so you can see me. Okay. Lengthen your arms out long and wide here. If this is uncomfortable for you, have a seat on the cushion, because what I want you to do is I want you to be able to sit out of your pelvis. So if this is uncomfortable for you, then yeah, or you can bring your legs up bent. So I want you to just move your hands out so they're in a little bit of a spider. So you're going to start to feel a connection from your ears, neck, shoulders, all the way down to the hands. Okay, so once you've gone as far as you feel as you're able to, what I want you to do is then start to move your hands around and rotate the spine so you're facing the other over the left leg. Okay, then I want you to slowly unrotate and then lengthen your arms out again and just really feel as though you can see as if you can get as far as possible. And then I want you to start to move the hand around and rotate and place your left hand or the hand in the middle of the legs. And then again, coming back round to neutral. This is actually really good for people who've been sat at desks all day, because you're really lengthening the shoulders here and also the arms. So again, lengthen away, lengthen, 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 and then start to rotate the shoulders down the thoracic spine, and then the hand comes into the middle. And at this point, just press into your left hand a little bit and just allow that spine to just turn over a little bit. Lengthen your legs out in front of you too. If you feel that you're contracting a little bit, just imagine that you're just sending your thigh bones and your calf bones and your feet to that wall. And then coming round and send those arms out. Get that real nasty neural stretch. Well, I find it really nasty neural stretch. And then coming over and then pressing into the back hand, just giving yourself a little bit more leverage as you come round into rotation. Okay. Now come to kneeling. So you will know this, I'm sure, you yogis, as cat-cow. But we'll want to play around with this a little bit, because if you come up it, so when I say spine flexion, what I mean is a rounded back. So if you would all like to come into spine flexion for me, so coming up like this, I just want to have a quick look at you. Okay, cool. And then come into spine extension, so allowing the ribcage to come through. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of specifics now. So if we can have our knees under our hips, so bring our legs in a little bit closer. That's it. Probably so that is hip width distance apart. Excuse my cleavage. Yeah, so that's hip width distance apart. That's not. All right, and we also want our hands to be so our arm bones coming out of our shoulders and our hands underneath our shoulders. Okay, so it's going to be a little bit looser in terms of base of support. Now what I'd like you to do, we're just going to do something that I want you to just sense, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to lift the opposite arm and the opposite leg. Yeah, and just sense how that's feeling right now. Okay, and then bring it back down and then do the other way. Soften your feet if you're able to, and allow the tops of the feet to come onto the mat. Okay, cool. Come down, all of you. Lovely. All right, so when you're coming up into spine flexion, you may have been pressing into your hands. So if you can see where I am, pressing into your hands and coming up like this. Okay. Some of you were, some of you weren't. I'm not going to shout out who was and who wasn't. And then clenching into the abdominals, because I want to get that done. So, but what I want you to do is I want us to go back to the beginning of the class. Think about the pelvis, okay? Think about the pelvic clock that we were doing when we were lying down. The pelvis starts the movement of the spine. So what I'd like you to do is just round your hands as they are, but just not, I don't want you to push into your hands, Okay, I want you to move the spine by the pelvis. So you'll see that there's a little bit, there's much less of a spine flexion there. That's because I'm flexing the whole of my spine, not just this part here. Okay, and then I want you to slide the pelvis away from the knees, and then this comes into extension. You may notice that your arm bones start to externally rotate a little bit. That's normal, because then your rib cage and your breastbone starts to come up this way. Okay, and then turning the pelvis down, you'll find your arm bones do internally rotate ever so slightly as your spine goes into spine flexion. Okay, so let's try that again. So come to neutral. No, neutral isn't yet. Have a look down at your knees. I'd say there's quite a few of you who've got their knees quite wide. Okay, so put your attention into the pelvis, and I imagine that you've got a book on the back of your bum, right? And I want you to keep your shoulders where they are, but I want you to move your bum, so slide the book on your bum all the way down to the knees. That's it, beautiful. Yes. Yes, 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 excellent. Now, I want you to slide the book away from the knees, back on the bum. Yeah, allow the head just to follow where the spine goes. Chin down, yes. So the eye gaze in extension, only chin up a little bit, yeah. That's it. The eye gaze only goes a little bit further in front of you. Yeah, it's really good alignment. Excellent. And then sliding the bottom down. So sliding the bum down towards the knees again. Bum down towards the knees. Yeah. Allow the head to follow. Allow the head to follow. Open up the back of the neck a little bit. Yeah. And then sliding the pelvis away. Also soften the shoulders a little bit here. That's it, yeah. Okay, now so I hope that you may have noticed, we haven't done really that much arm work, but you may have noticed that arm bones are starting to open out here. And now just let your breastbone open and widen as you're coming into extension. So again, your bum is away from your knees. If you need to put something underneath your knees because they're hurting, then please do. Don't stand on ceremony. It's really important that you do what's right for your body. Okay, so let's everyone come into an extension. So I want you to slide the pelvis away from the knees, and then the breastbone starts to shine up towards the wall ever so slightly. Yeah, so yeah, great. Marvia, we're in flexion. So if you can go the opposite way, yeah. Same with you, Ian. And yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Okay, now in extension, okay, I want you to slide your arm away, your right arm away and your left leg away from you. And float that arm and leg up. Okay. And Tom, bring your leg just a little bit further down. That's it, I want it to be away out, not up. I want to keep the pelvis as level as possible, and then slide back in, and then keeping that extension pattern again, sliding away the opposite, so the left arm and right leg, and then coming back down, and then you should, I hope, find this a lot easier to do than you did first time round, because the spine is in extension. Again, just feeling around. Okay, now you've done that a couple of times. Can anyone do same side? Your weight will change, obviously, onto the other side, and then lengthen away. Eye gaze is a little bit further, it's probably about a foot in front of you. And then come down. And then whichever side of you is on the side of the camera, lengthen away. And then can you come round to the side? Can you lift up and down? Really lengthen that top leg away. Arm up at the ceiling. So it's just a slight swivel round. You can move your leg a little bit behind you, but it just depends on how you're feeling. Okay, and then coming in, swivel back round. I'll go the other way because that'll work for me. And then lengthen away with both the sides. We've swapped over sides now, so you might actually be facing me. Your thigh will swivel. You'll come round to your side. You may find that one side is easier than the other. So this side for me is a lot easier than the other side. Okay, brilliant. And lengthen away from the arm to the leg, and then coming back around, softening down onto your feet, into a child's pose. Now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to come from there and then come onto your front. Okay. So this is going to be some nice hip extension at work. That's going to be great for so if you've been sat down a lot today, place your hands, place your hands sort of chest height, so just below your shoulders, and I want your elbows to be pointing towards your feet. And then what I want you to do is just like we have done with the feet, get the hands sort of grounded into the mat. And what I want you to do is I want you to rock your pelvis just ever so slightly as well, and just start to feel the pelvis on the front side this time. Now, if you'd like to just lengthen the right leg away from you. Keep the body where it is. You're just lengthening the right leg away. You'll find that the foot will rise. Okay. And then place that down wherever you lengthened it. And then let's go return to the left leg and lengthen the left leg away. Be mindful of your lower backs here, okay? You are the masters of your body, and I just want you do not want to go into the lower back, and then soften down. And again, lengthen away. And let's just see how far you can get your leg in the air just by natural rising. I don't want you to force it. I just want you to just lengthen and allow that leg to rise. I don't want it to kick into the back either. And again, lengthen the left leg away and just let the foot rise through that extension to really feel like the hip joint is opening up here. Now glue the legs together, and again, lengthen both of the legs together and see how much they rise. It may be a little, it may be not too much. Okay, so bring your your eye gaze, I want your eye gaze to be down again. So bring both of your legs down, and your keep your hands where they are and your elbows where they are. And if you remember those circles that we drew when we were doing the chest lift, we want to do similar hemispheres on the this way around. So start to turn the elbows towards the feet, drawing a circle. You'll find that your rib cage begins to rise. Keep your hands connected. Allow the top of the rib cage or the front of your body just to lengthen. And then breathing down as you come back in. I need to readjust my hands to bring them back a little bit further. You may want to as well, so a little bit more closer to the bottom of my ribs, to where my bra strap is if you wear a bra. And then again, pressing down, lengthening the elbows behind you, and just rather than bringing your chin up, I just want you to imagine that you've got a white light coming out the crown of your head. Your eye gaze is on the mat or on the floor, and it just slowly moves as your spine is going. And again, be mindful of your lower back, please. And then one more time, lengthen away. Imagine that your legs are going away from you. Your crown is moving towards the wall in front. And then if it is available to you, then you can start to rise, lengthen your arms, and allow the rib cage to come off the floor. And you'll be on your knees now. And then coming back down. And then one more time. If you're able to, don't let this kick into your lower back. Lengthen the elbows away and the arms. Open up wide. Lengthen. And my chin might be up, I don't know. And then breathing as you come down. Lovely. Okay. Come back onto the knees, come into child's pose for a little bit, which will be an extension. Let me just see where the time is. Wow. Okay. Right. So, just to finish off, I'd like to come to sitting. And I'd like you to, so when we were lying down earlier, we did that side to side. So I'd like us to do something a little, we want the legs to be in the same way. So you've got your seams connected, your inner seams of your feet connected. And I want your hands, just so you've got a nice isosceles triangle between your arm and your hips, okay? So, I want you to place your hand on your knee, and I want you to press into your, this is my left hand, so in the supporting hand, I just want you to roll, press into the supporting hand and allow the pelvis to roll the thigh bones towards the feet, okay? And then rolling back, lengthen the arm over the knees and allow the rib cage to start to rotate around, so you're looking at the feet. And then pressing into the standing hand again, rolling round, and then coming back. So it's a bit of a rocking motion. Okay. Now we're in this opening position where we're lengthening away. We're on the side of the pelvis here. I want you to bring your arm open, and then you just your pelvis comes over the other side, so you rock back. Okay, so we're doing the same motion, but the arm is now free. So the arm is free, lengthen away, rotation, roll back towards the feet, press into the standing hand, and then bring your arm around. Now I want you to rotate your rib cage around so both of your hands are shoulder width apart. So you're in a rotation of the rib cage here. And then I want you to slide your back foot off off the bottom foot. Ian, this is to do this, we're going to use the toes here, so you may want to come up onto the knees first. Okay, so bring your toes onto the mat, so they're just so as if you're going to go into tiptoes. Press into your hands and your pelvis will rise, and then swivel around, so you've got cross legs. So for the yogis here, we've got cross leg downward dog. Okay, gaze is in between the middle of the feet, and then come back down, bend the knees and release. Okay, let's do that again. Pressing into the hands, connect the toes in, pelvis rises. and swivel round. And then come back down. And then turn the feet around the other way. Inner seams connected, knees level, feet seams connected. And my right hand now is my supporting hand. Okay, so lengthen your arm away over the knee, rotate the rib cage around, the head follows. And then bring your pelvis back, lengthen away, come onto your thigh bones, press into your standing hand, and then roll back onto the side of the pelvis. Then lift your hands up, allow the arm to circle around, and then floating back. Some people find that there's a connection between the hands and the wrist and the neck here. So if you are feeling a little bit of zingy pain, then that is okay and normal. And then one more time, rotating and bring the arm around. Now place your hands down in front of you, so shoulder width distance apart, and the rib cage is turned. Slide the top foot behind the bottom. So yeah, and then get your toes in. One side might be more tricky than the other. This side's a little bit more tricky for me. So press your hands in and then start to swivel up. And then float yourself back down. Re-find your hands, press into your hands, allow the pelvis to rise, and rotating all the way up. So pelvis is really nice and wide in the air, eye gaze between the feet, and then we swivel back down. Okay, and then come to standing, finish off with a standing roll down. But also what I want you to do is I want us to go back to where we were when we started, where our feet are. How do our feet feel? Do they feel different to they did when we first started? So letting our hands fall to the side. I want you to start to nod your head down to the chest. Then I want you to start to turn the rib cage, so the lower rib connects into the abdominals. The arms get heavy as you just let the spine just gently come down. Heavy arms here, really heavy. You can move them around if you fancy, just to make them feel a little bit heavier. Pressing into the feet as you slide the pelvis down the back of the legs like you were doing in quadruped earlier. Allow the vertebra to stack on vertebra by vertebra. And then head comes on top, and then again roll the head down, nose to chest, rib cage turns in, soften down, allow the arms to feel really heavy here. And then just feel, if you feel here when your arms are down, just if your backs of your legs are really tight, then just bend your knees a little bit. And maybe just have a feel what it's like to have your eyes closed and have your head down, and just to start moving around your legs and your feet like you were earlier this afternoon. And then when you come to standstill, press into your feet. Just allow your pelvis to roll down the backs of the thighs, curling up, rib cage stacks on the hips, shoulders stack on the rib cage, head comes on the shoulders. There you go. Well done.